So is this Videll's time to really step up? Well, based on what we've seen, probably. Hey folks, MasakoX here. December continues our journey through Videll's passage, towards becoming someone more relevant than she was in the original Dragon Ball series. Now, all of this is to do with the idea that she could get some decent training, for once, from the likes of Gohan when they first got to know one another in high school. But going from something that was basically the young half-Saiyan capitulating to protect his identity, in this story it became something that truly excited him and gave him his first sensation of true love. There's more to that though, and it all comes from Videll's passion to get stronger, not only making her all the more endeared to the Dragon Team, but it also sets in motion many others which could change the Buu Saga quite considerably. Videll's passage, towards becoming a fully ingratiated member of the Dragon Team in this timeline is not a simple case of just having her tag along with Gohan, and that being done with. It's not like going to be her in a game and basically her calling on Gohan every 10 seconds for anything that isn't the eagle kick. No, she is a fully paid up member of the posse. As we progressed, we've had Gohan's friends and mentors assess what the daughter of Hercule can do, and they are slowly starting to see the value that Gohan had put in her, as well as her determination to step up and be counted for something. Krillin especially can see that, him being the most willing of all to help regardless of the scale of the challenge ahead of him. And of course, despite his perceived nature of being weak, he really isn't. I've made so many videos about that, but that chestnut is for another day. Get it? Kuririn? Chestnut? Oh, Japanese humor. In the last part, we had Piccolo and Videl spend some time together, with the former teaching Videl the Masenko, and her getting that down properly, as well as getting a read on not only her fighting ability, but also her character. She was somebody who wanted this purely to better herself, and not for, like her father, something Piccolo worried about, to get rich and popular. Already he liked her, and with her increase in aptitude to the Dragon Team method of going about things, things were looking up indeed, but not for Gohan. All of his angry arguments with Vegeta left him open to attack from Babidi, and it led to Majin Gohan debuting, feeding on his own angst and sorrow for the turmoil he had been through recently. Through his own fault, mind you, he could have just sensed her. Vegeta chose not to calm him down, and instead feed on this to get a good fight and shut this teenager up. All this led to Babidi quickly making up the energy he didn't get from Spopovich and Yamu, and as we can tell in this part, it's very close. The gauge now reads 95% and Babidi is absolutely ecstatic with the progress, and he could literally feel himself losing his cool out of sheer glee.
Come on, just a little more primitive squabbling and my goal will be reached!
Vegeta and Gohan were sizing each other up again, with Goku and Shin unable to think of anything to get them to stop. That is until Piccolo and Videl show up! When Piccolo lands next to Shin and Goku, he apologizes for being late, and for the sloppy showing earlier, which led to him being turned to stone. Shin brushes it aside, saying that Dabura had been taken care of, so no problem there. But these Saiyans were making things much harder than they need be. Piccolo then looks to Gohan, and feels utter contempt. He let his emotions get the better of him. I didn't teach him to be so weak. He seemed angry, but on the inside, the Namekian was really distraught seeing his dear friend being consumed from within. Videl, meanwhile, had no idea what was going on.
Goku? Why is Gohan fighting Vegeta?
Goku turns to her, looking seriously at her, and also disappointed that she ignored his order to stay at the lookout. He's being controlled by a wizard named Babidi. It's causing him to fight against us. I'll provide energy to release an even greater enemy. Shin picks up the flow. Majin Buu is a menace that had plagued our universe many millions of years ago. I thought we had managed to stop him from being released all that time ago, but I fear that we're too late. Babidi nearly has enough energy to release him. Videl looks to Gohan, and instead of being upset or emotional, she's actually kind of annoyed at him.
Hey, Gohan!
All three of the people around her look horrified. What was she doing? Drawing the attention of Majin Gohan to them, and to her! Vegeta is ready to lunge forward once more.
Snap out of it!
Shouts Videl from a distance. This is his chance. Gohan is distracted and gets slammed in the cheek by Vegeta, causing him to collapse in a heap on the ground. As he's trying to get up, wanting to get his own back at the prince, Gohan then turns to where Goku and Shin were, and sees Videl, up and about, right there in front of him. Videl, you're here. Why? He muttered to himself. Babidi looks a little nervously at the battle.
What is this? Why have they stopped fighting?
Gohan's eyes, once piercing daggers, relaxed a little. He got up, and Vegeta turned to see where he was looking at. He could see the girl right there. She's about to get herself killed. What a fool. They're as bad as each other. He crosses his arms and waits to see how this would pan out, ready to act if Gohan turned foul again. Very ready to do so. Gohan stands up and walks slowly over to Videl, still in Super Saiyan 2. When he gets close to Videl, his face relaxes even further. Here she was. A-okay? Babidi is getting furious, about to intervene, but Piccolo then grabs his arm. That's about enough from you, Babidi. That is for getting the better of me earlier.
How dare you! You should know better than to try and hoodwink me, the great Babidi! Let's go, or I'll...
Piccolo squeezes his wrist, and the wizard
cries out in agony.
What, cry even louder? I can live with that. Babidi is concerned. Videl, despite being apprehensive at the sight of her partner looking absolutely beaten up and villainous, reaches her hand out and grabs his. It's okay, Gohan. I'm okay. I'm here for you. I'm ready. You're all right. She nods in affirmation. Gohan's eyes close and he begins to recall Mr. Piccolo's meditation techniques. Not the napping ones, there is a difference. His mind calms and he's able to get a handle on his consciousness. The thing that let Babidi in is gradually diminishing. The wizard could feel his influence weakening. And Piccolo, being there, he couldn't reinforce it. Love, the thing that gave him the chance to control Gohan before, was now the thing that was pushing him out again.
This sickening emotion, I don't understand it.
Piccolo smirks. I don't get it much myself, but I do understand its power and what it could do in the right hands. You're done, Babidi. It's over. Babidi thinks for a second. The big green was right. It was over. For now. Using all his wily tactics, he gives up control of Gohan, blinds Piccolo with his magic, and vanishes from view. He was gone, and so was the Majin symbol on Gohan's forehead. He powers down to his base form and collapses to the floor. Videl catches him, and they embrace. Shin looks jubilant. Did we do it? Where's Babidi? I can't tell where he is. He looks around and no, not a trace of him. Nor can any of the gang sense him. Either he got snuffed out by Piccolo, or he's hiding his presence. As Gohan and Videl are reconciling, as well as having a cheeky little kiss, sharing their mutual relief for each other's safety, Piccolo returns to the side of Shin and Goku and shares his thoughts. That little twerp must have fled. I almost had him, but he was too quick for me with his blasted magic. Shin asks him if Babidi had enough energy to release Buu, and the Namekian shakes his head. From what I could hear from his constant rambling, no. He had about 5% left. Shin looks happy. Good. If we can find him right away, then we can stop him from reaching his goal. We can save the universe. He turns to see if the others agree to this idea. They do not. Well, isn't anyone going to start looking for him? Still silence. It's not as easy as that, Supreme Kai. Even if Babidi is defeated, who's to say another mad person comes along and finishes what he started? We need to let Buu be released and then destroy him. That way, he's gone for good. Shin is horrified at this idea. What? Goku, you can't be serious. I have seen firsthand his destruction. I've lost many of my companions thanks to his terrifying power. How are you this calm? I gather that you're powerful and all, but he's way stronger than Frieza. Everybody's stronger than Frieza these days. Once I agree with Kakarot. Let Buu show up. I'm curious myself to see how strong this monster is. Shin is feeling utterly ganged up on. These cursed Saiyans. Why did he have to be so beholden to them right now with Majin Buu? Piccolo then delivers some reason to the table. Listen, if Babidi is in hiding, then this means we've been granted some valuable time to prepare. There's no way that he would dare go after any of us anymore. Not directly. He'd be wiped out in an instant. Odds are he'll probably be looking for scraps of energy from regular people, like Cell did. That'll take him days. That's more than enough time. Shin couldn't believe how callous they are being, so careless, letting regular civilians be absorbed to Barbody's madness. Gohan, now having gathered himself a little, tells Shin that there is a way, that there's a method in this madness. They have Dragon Balls on Earth. They can wish back anyone whose life force has been consumed by Buu. They'll be okay in the end. Shin is still perturbed by these foolhardy tactics, but hey, at least there's a plan. Sure enough, Barbody's plan was to gather energy from regular people. With his energy syringe ready and the location of Buu's seal ball cloaked, he set about his mission. As he was going about his business, he could not believe that he was actually being allowed to do so. Those heroes were letting him release Majin Buu, seemingly.
I never imagined these oaks would simply roll out the red carpet like this, inviting me to release Majin Buu with no resistance. Oh, I've waited so long. I can wait a little longer.
Besides, he enjoyed lording it up over weaklings, and one by one, humans were being absorbed into the syringe, and the gauge crept up agonizingly slowly. But Barbody didn't mind. The Dragon team, now gathered up on the lookout, were not sure how much time they had left before Buu would show up, and so they decided to quickly lay down the foundations of their battle plan. Goku realizes that his time left on Earth would be limited, and he probably won't be able to reliably stay for the main encounter. If he used his secret weapon, only known to him at the moment, Super Saiyan 3, it might be too much to sustain his presence on Earth, and it might lead to him being prematurely departed from this world. No, he had to use his time wisely. As the rest of the gang are gathering their bearings, Gohan and Vegeta are having a couple of sensu beans from Krillin. Goku talking to Piccolo, explaining about something that he meant to tell the others earlier, something he picked up in the other world. Fusion.
It's a really powerful technique. In case my time runs out, I want you to fully understand it, Piccolo. You're one of the smartest guys I know. I'm sure you can pick it up in no time.
Piccolo nods, and together they go over the basics. When the time comes for Goku to leave, he thanks everyone for their hard work. He gives Goten and Gohan a big hug and tells Chi-Chi not to worry. He'll be watching over.
I gotta pass the torch someday. Now seems as good a time as any. Gohan, you got this.
He gives a thumbs up, and with that, Goku and Baba depart for the other world. Videl, after all this time, is completely blown away with what she's seen. Fusion, Super Saiyan, Ki, superhuman powers, wizards? This was crazy. As Goku vanishes, Shin informs the gang that he too must go, looking very tired.
There's not much more I can do here, seeing as you've all decided the outcome for me. I feel that Goku's work, though, isn't done yet. And just in case Buu is too powerful for any of you, I'm gonna go and find Goku in the other world and train him with a legendary weapon, something that I know that nobody has yet wielded successfully. But I feel that Goku might be the one to finally do it.
Another reason he was going was because the stress of being close to where Majin Buu might appear was too much to handle right now. He wanted to skip town. He disappears from view and is off to find Goku and, of course, show him the Z-Sword, not Gohan. Videl then asks Gohan what they can do with this remaining time. Maybe they could go in the Room of Spirit and Time again. She can show him her gains with Krillin and Piccolo and develop on them from there. Gohan thinks it's a decent idea, but they need to improve even faster now. The chamber might not be enough. And this is when Vegeta says his piece.
That alone won't work. The chamber is useful, but what you need requires even more intense training.
He tosses Gohan a capsule.
Take this. It's a portable gravity chamber. Bulma gave it to me in case I ever needed it if I was off-world. I want that back when you're done, by the way.
By the way, the other reason she made it was to get Vegeta to shut up about training so much.
Would they be responsible this time around? Yeah, I think they would be. But Masako, why? You said the last time that Gohan considered a whole day in there, they chose not to spend that, just because due to their teenage antics and all? I mean, that's very true, but this time around, it's quite different. First off, they have a major threat to the planet to deal with, and second, quite frankly, they're not in the mood. They have a pressing engagement to deal with, that being Buu. But okay, due to the fact that Gohan got a little bit nervous, they spent 6 months in there. But during that time, as well as the gravity chamber inside the Room of Spirit and Time, it's devoid of any dangerous acts of intimacy. But that doesn't mean they can't cuddle or anything, or kiss. They just need to stop fully sampling the lemon grove, if you know what I mean. When they emerge, Videll's power has increased drastically, her pixie cut looking wilder than ever, and her muscle tone looking even more defined than ever as well. She never felt better in all her life. She felt invincible. Gohan had benefited too. As Videll's power grew, her effectiveness as a sparring partner became more and more apparent. Gohan's power had meant that all the softness that he accrued in the past 7 years from not training had been negated, and in fact, he had slightly increased his power from then. And you know, it's kind of like a snowball effect, so the stronger Videl gets, the more effective Gohan's training gets, and in turn that gets improved with Videl, and so forth. They have both made a promise to each other too. If they get out of this whole thing in one piece, they'd get married. It had become very clear in that 6 months that they were truly made for each other. They fit one another perfectly. Gohan needed a tough and yet conscientious teammate to push him forward, and Videl needed somebody sincere and thoughtful to provide her comfort and stability, something she'd been lacking. As they did emerge, Vegeta immediately took back the capsule containing the gravity chamber and went inside. But Dende warned him that he was very close to using up his total allotted time inside. The Guardian told Vegeta that he would knock on the door when his time was nearly up, or else he might be stuck inside. Piccolo takes note of this fact.
If we weren't so in need of his power, I wouldn't mind him being stuck in there for all eternity. Could use some peace and quiet.
Gohan and Videl then sit back and relax as Piccolo is teaching the boys the art of fusion, but they're struggling to get to grips with it. Krillin and 18 sit down by the couple and inform them that while they were gone, 18 had gotten to the final of the tournament, only to lose to Hercule.
Not bad, I suppose, 18 says. He was too good. You still get decent prize money for coming second.
Videl looks to her and looks unconvinced.
Dad totally bribed you, didn't he?
18 looks taken aback.
Huh? What makes you so sure, kid? I know my dad. He's wanted this glory for so long. He would do anything to keep it that way. I love him, I really do, but I also know that you would kick his ass if you actually went all out.
18 was kind of impressed.
Not bad. What's your name again?
Videl.
What's yours?
18. I feel like we're gonna get along just fine. Back on Earth, 3 days have passed since Babidi fled. He now returns to his ship and places the last remains of energy in the sealed ball base. He looks tired, he looks frantic, but also triumphant.
At last, these fools will rue the day they let me slip through their fingers. Now, arise, Majin Buu!
The sealed ball lights up with energy, and within seconds, it cracks open. A pink cloud emerges from within, and it then forms Majin Buu. And that's where we're going to be leaving things for right now. So what do you folks think? Do you think the gains our heroes have gotten will be enough to stop Buu? How will Buu handle things going forward? Leave a comment below, and let's get this discussion going. And I shall see you in the next video. Catch you later!